1, 2, 1, 2, 3, ah.
Hey, my name is Skylar Tang. I'm 16 years old from the Bay Area, and I'm a trumpet player at NYO Jazz. Today, we'll be showing you a trumpet sectional with our coach, Tanya Darby. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you learned something too.
So when I'm hearing some of the balance issues, a lot of times I was really lacking second trumpet. And I was telling you to play louder just to sort of get you some of that presence, right? But also, we're really thinking about time. Everything we're doing behind the horn, behind our horn, is we're dictating time, particularly lead trumpet, right? Sometimes we get the hierarchy twisted, right? We put notes before time. Time always comes first. I'd rather hear you play a solo of all the wrong notes in time and swinging than play all the right notes and it's not swinging. Does that make sense?
But preferably right notes and right time.
Right, exactly, right, you know?
That's not getting their ideas.
Yeah. And that's something that I live by. Like if I'm sight reading something with a band or whatever, you know, there may be some funky eighth note line or whatever. Okay, I can kind of not fake my way, or I mean, you know, kind of grace some notes or whatever, but wait for the next downbeat to happen, right? There are recordings of me swinging my behind off in the wrong key. And it was swinging so hard that nobody noticed it, and it's on the record. I ain't gonna tell you what it is. Yeah. Because now you're gonna be like, oh, listen, all right? Yeah. Time always comes first. Time always comes first, okay? So one of the things is you are no longer reacting. You are creating the energy, right? You are the time. When we talk about play the time, play the time, play the time, no one talks about, well, what's the time? The time is the time. This is not like this ethereal conversation, well, the drummer's time is going to unfold. No, the time is the time. All right? So if we're here, I want you guys to give me a on the end of 4, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, keep repeating, huh? Beat 3. Beat 3, right on 3. Okay. Does this sound urgent?
Urgent? Not really. Not really.
Does it sound like it's arriving or that someone just dictated where the time is? It sounds like arriving. So I'm just kind of watching, right? Right, so Levi, I kind of see this. And your mouth actually opens at different times. That's what was interesting. I was like, it's like someone playing and they're killing, but they're tapping off the beat. I don't know how people do. They see their foot just going, but the time is somewhere totally different, right? So your time, people talk about your sound is the first thing people hear. Yeah, but your time is what people hear, right? So for you to snatch the time and to take command of the time, to take ownership of the time, no matter where you're sitting in the section, you got to come with the same swag and the same arrogance from all these chairs as if you're playing lead. Okay, so one of my favorite things about this tune, and we just know it's a cool tune, there's so much cool stuff going on, right? But the stuff that I love is the stuff that we would deem as corny. And when I tell you that you guys have complete control over the time of the band with how you address those corner notes. Yeah. Complete. So you can feel how the band's kind of rushing a little, right? Mm-hmm. So the thing that I can sort of hear you doing a little bit of is there's some weight on the tip. Right? So I want you to have that same weight going throughout the tune, right? So we got ba ba da ba. But now notice I'm singing ba ba and not pa 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 pa. We want to distinguish between those two. Pa pa da pa po da 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 doo da da. As corny as possible. Because sometimes things get so corny that it goes full circle and now it's killing again. It's like when something so ugly is cute. Yeah. This is the exact same stuff, okay? So I'm going to count you into 9, and I'll stop you when we're ready to address something. Okay, here we go. A 1, a 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now, we don't want it to necessarily be loud, right? What's the dynamic marking? Right, and we're already unison, so you know it's going to sort of carry more, right? So with those quarter notes, what can we do since we're extenuating certain notes? What can we do volume-wise to the notes that we're not putting weight on?
Bring it back.
Yeah, right? So then we got ooh, ba, doo, ba, go creepy, 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 doo, ba. Boop, ba, okay. Boop, ba, do, ba. Okay, try it one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me hear. Now, are we doing a little bend there, a little fall? I hear like 1.5 persons doing it.
I haven't been doing it. I've just been making it long.
Okay.
I think in the recording, I think it was kind of.
Yeah, it was kind of
Okay, so could you hear during, I almost said rescue, during rehearsal that there was a discrepancy during rehearsal, right? Yeah. So you heard it. Did anybody address it?
I don't know if that was like the vibe of the tune.
Was that the question I just asked?
No.
When we were on stage, when you heard the discrepancy, did anybody address it?
No.
Okay, that's the stuff that's going to stop now.
Okay.
Right? So that's the stuff that you hear it, address it. You hear it, address it. Okay. So how do we address this? Since there's a question you weren't really sure.
Because I feel like in the recording, it's almost like, even though it's like a section together, everyone still had like a slight individual like flair to it, because I think it was showing like the character showing like the irregularness of the tune.
I love how sensitive y'all are. Damn! Yeah! Well, that's part of the Mingus vibe, right? But for now, right, if we're going for more of a universal presence, what's a really quick way if you're not sure, say you're in rehearsal, whatever, and then this happens?
Does it ask someone?
Are we doing that fall? Yeah, quick.
Oh, you asking me for real? Yes. I haven't been doing it, but I'm down to try it.
I think we should, just because I think it adds a bit more weight to the note, and it's like one of the, it's we want to get one of the heavier beats.
Okay, good. Now, if we're talking about tendencies, I always try to ask questions without giving the answer. There's a beat entrance that you guys are consistently raggedy on.
2 on the first one. That's
okay, what I'm hearing something a little different. What else? The downbeat. The downbeat. That one, right? We're very sort of early on, right? Now, it's not the notes that get us in trouble. It's the sustains and the rests. Yeah. When we see a rest, that is not a matrix moment. Like I said, with the cape, with what's his name, Morbius, whatever. With we see a quarter rest. I don't know how long this is, so I'm gonna just assign it some strange value. No, it's a quarter rest, right? When I first started playing trumpet, there was this teacher. He said, "Tanya, you gotta play your rests." And it took me being an adult to realize what that means, right? So when I'm playing, all of those rests are actually getting value, right? They're getting my attention. They're getting the same value and attention as the notes. So, and I've been told, but I've heard myself do it too. There's like grunts, like you'll hear me like grunt things like this. So I'll be playing, bo bo ba do ba do bo 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 bo. It's not a conscious thing, but it's proof that those rests are just as important as those notes. Okay? Now, the other thing, What's happening with the swell?
I'm stinging it a little bit and then cutting it off hard on 4.
Okay, so we have the sting, right? And we have the off on 4, but what about the timing of the swell?
Kind of irregular.
Kind of irregular, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do we address this in real time? I saw you doing this on stage and I was grinning because it was happening.
I move my bell.
You were moving your bell, right? So you're giving these like subtle, right? So typically what we do with this is we start to move way too fast. We start the effect fast. The longer you stay off of the effect, the more dramatic it's gonna be. So and make sure when you hit it, if you are gonna sting it and come off, that you come off far enough to where it now has an effect. Not that it's gonna be that crazy with this, but we wanna get you used to over-exaggerating, okay? I'm gonna count you in, and I'm gonna give you 2 bars of time. Your time does not start when your first note flies. Your time starts long before that. As soon as you hear, there's a groove.
Yeah.
All right, so I want you to get into the time before that first entrance, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, ah! Keep going. Oh, I thought you and then
We have again 11 bars.
yeah. Okay, now the other thing about this tune, right? So we have this sort of popcorn, corny, and then out of nowhere we got all these swinging. So for you to have the delineation and the clarity between those two, like when that swing starts, it should just feel like, oh Lord,
Yeah.
right? And you started to get it, and when you started to get it was when you started to understand the connectivity between eighth notes, right? So we were talking about one quick way to get the time together is to play the notes to their full value, right? Play their notes to their full value. The other thing too is to connect eighth notes, right? Now, what trumpet players tend to do is we see an eighth note line, and then we all of a sudden turn into a saxophone player, right? So we got the, where is it?
Right here.
Yeah. Oh, forgetting that we have a tongue, right? Everything I do is dictating time. Every entrance I play is me dictating time. So if we're thinking, right? Everything is connected. Notice I'm not playing, I'm singing ta 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 ta. What gives it the swing is the fact that I'm using my tongue, very deliberate. You take any bebop head and you accent the top note of the phrase, you're gonna all of a sudden be swinging your behind off. If you take the same approach and just accent the shape of the line, right? That's a bad example. Right? That's all it is. That is all it is, okay? So I'm going to count you in. Right at, is that a 51 or a 61?
That's a 30.
31. Lord have mercy. Don't get old. Don't get old.
31, yeah.
31.
It's the last, one last time, and then we go into...
Actually, no, let's go right at 30, bar 30. So we'll have 2 bars of the da-da. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, a breathe, 2, 3, 4. Now I hear it, I feel the la, 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 but I'm standing right in front of you. So of course I'm gonna feel it. What if I'm back here? What if I miss the cameraman? Or what if I'm back here? Play that same thing, but make me feel that motion. One, just right on that, where yeah, exactly, where the triplets are. 1, 2, Good. Now here's a perfect example of where not everything needs to be a yut. So you hear how that sounds out of place? Okay. Use your powers for good, right?